getting real toasty out here, and some of the results are a little toasty as well. And I'll get to that in a minute.
I'm sure you will. Toasty.
Salt on the toast.
It's salt on the toast.
Salt on my toast.
All right, man. Go ahead. I'm turning you loose, man. This is your time.
The clock's
Hit
ticking.
it.
All right, y'all. So
Hit
this
it.
is the theme for this week. We have a couple debuts talk about it's old Albert, irrelevant in this game, a shame of a team, and all the runs you need. Okay, old Albert. 34-year-old Orioles starter Albert Suarez made his second major league debut yesterday. His first was for the Giants some years ago when we were much younger. Suarez pitched to a 5
jokes.
career ERA, and given his current ERA of 4 at AAA Norfolk, one did not have reason to believe he would pitch well against the struggling, yet more experienced ace of the Twins, Pablo Lopez. Lopez departed with a 2-1 lead, but that did leave the door open for the O's, as they've done historically over the past few years, to win it in the final at-bat. And they did just that. Cedric Mullins closed the book on the series win with a majestic 2-run walk-off home run onto Utah Street, a street that I had lost track of my friend Cordell on back in 2022 when we were celebrating my birthday amongst a sea of orange and white. Irrelevant in this game, Will Smith is one of my favorite Dodger players. I've seen the catcher hit laser beam home runs in Atlanta to tie ball games, gun down runners going to second base, and hit base hits everywhere. And now I've seen him jinx the team by saying Jurickson Profar, Padres outfielder and former Little League superstar. His brother also played for league ball. He was irrelevant in the game of baseball during an at-bat last Saturday against the Padres. Smith clearly forgot, conveniently, that Profar drove in runs against the Dodgers to end last season's series win for the Padres, and Profar burned the Dodgers in the 2022 playoffs with runs batted in at the end of the game to seal the win in Game 5. And he did it to my Dodgers again because Will Smith's big mouth blasting a go-ahead 3-run double on Sunday Night Baseball to headline the Padre win. Afterwards, Machado and Profar, they both said they won't pay attention to that kind of stuff, but we know they do. Manny Machado also homered in their second straight series at Dodger Stadium, twice against the Dodgers. The lesson to LA is stop trying to tell professionals what they are or what they can do. They tried to tell Manny Machado he took too long getting in the box, so he hit the home run on Saturday. They still have a problem with it on Sunday, said something else, he hit another one. A shame of a team. This year's edition of the Marlins, to yours truly, is unrecognizable from the teams I watched in 2020 and 2023, when they specialize in getting people on base, stealing bases, and getting big-time RBIs from then youngsters Brian De La Cruz and Jesus Sanchez. Somehow, they won one game from the Braves and Giants before collapsing in the finales of both, predictably in the ninth, giving up go-ahead hits to former Marlin Marcell Ozuna against the Braves, and then strategically being cut down by the Giants' bullpen on Wednesday and genius manager Bob Melvin. Former GM Kim Ng quit after last season, and this year's GM has brought in the cancer, Tim Anderson, as I call him,
The cancer.
who hasn't helped the Marlins' on-base efforts at all, or fielding efforts. And not just to single out Tim Anderson, but history does tend to repeat itself with players who are good enough, but not great, but always seem to have something to say. And they seem to always send their teams into the cellar. Anderson and Jake Berger both played together for last year's White Sox. Need I say more? All the runs you need. Former Vanderbilt starting pitcher and top pick Jack Leiter made his debut today, got shelled for 7 runs. But the Rangers scored him 9, and he did not end up on the losing end, getting a no decision. No hangover for Texas? I don't know. They're 10-8, but DeGrom and Scherzer should be back by June or early July. Ironically, last Tuesday, an unheralded 33-round draft pick from the Cubs named Ben Brown, who was drafted when he only threw 93 miles an hour on the radar, took the ball for his team against the Padres and straight up dealt. He threw 5 2/3 scoreless innings after losing 2 hours of sleep on the plane ride. And the Cubs earned the win in his first start by bringing in bulk reliever Drew Smyly to close down an eventual 5-1 Cubs win. Baseball is a funny game sometimes. The guy who was drafted in the first round pitched horrible his first game. The guy drafted in the 33rd round pitches wonderful. The torture continues. The Rockies scored 6 unanswered runs against the Phillies. Last night was not enough. They still lost 7-6, and they got swept for the second straight year in Philly. Aforementioned Rangers still out shooting Detroit, and the torture continued there. And Miami still has no chance against Atlanta, and the Astros don't either. Apparently, getting swept by the Braves this week. They're 6-14 now, and that's all I have for this week on Stats Baseball Report.
And the Yankees came crashing back down to earth.
Oh, yeah, they had a rough series against Toronto,
we beat the Toronto yesterday.
They won a game.
Yeah, they won a game.
Honestly,
but they were struggling there before that.
Yeah, they limped
you
across the
can't get
finish
excited
line.
about the Blue Jays because they traditionally fold when you least expect it. So
Yeah.
you can't get excied about them.
When they were off to that hot start, it's only the second time in team history they started. What was it, 11-3? Or 12-3 or something like that in the first 15 games.
Yeah.
And then they came crashing back down to earth. So yeah, okay, they beat Toronto.
To be expected.
Good, man. I'm glad they beat Toronto.
Hey, my Red Sox are hurting right now. They're hurting.
Oh, I forgot
We're not going to get too much into that.
I forgot you got an NL team and an AL team. I always
and they're running into each other out on the outfield. That's what makes it even more painful. They're costing themselves games by losing players on the injured list because they're running into each other.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, hey, Stats, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for keeping us updated on MLB, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you,
Stats. Guys
Stats.
in a few weeks.
All right. Take it easy, man.
Y'all.
All right. That was Stats, our resident